Hello, Patriots. I'm Lee Watts, and this is Patriot Point, your source for Kentucky news and analysis from a conservative, Christian, and common sense point of view. Well, this week we are talking about Kentucky's money. And when I mean Kentucky's money, I mean your money, because the government has no money that it doesn't actually take from we the people first. We actually have 3 stories about your money as a Kentuckian this week. The first one has to do with it's Christmas time, and yet Governor Andy Beshear is literally at Christmas time withholding money from Kentucky families in need. When you're going to learn the details about it, you're going to feel this way. Yes, Andy Beshear is being rather Scroogey when it deals with Kentucky families in need this Christmas season. Here's how I mean this. It all has to do with SNAP benefits. You've probably heard about SNAP in the news lately. SNAP stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Basically, this is more commonly known as welfare. It's money people can use to buy food, those people in need. Since this has to deal with food, it is run by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The Secretary of the Department of Agriculture is a Miss Brooke Rollins, and she just came out this week and said, "No data, no money." This is a quote from Secretary Rollins. "If a state won't share data on criminal use of SNAP benefits, it won't get $1 of federal SNAP administrative funding." I want everybody to pay special attention to the words criminal use. The people receiving this money illegally, that's a crime. But also, if you are funneling this money to illegals, that is also a crime. You're funneling this money illegally. This is causing Andy Beshear a bit of a problem. The Secretary Rollins went on to say, "Let's see which states stand for accountability and are just protecting bribery schemes." What she's talking about here with a bribery scheme means basically if you are illegally giving money to people who aren't supposed to be getting it in the first place, just so you can kind of get their support, that's the definition of bribery. So if you don't give us the list of the people who are receiving this so we can check to see if they are supposed to be getting it or if they are not, then we're not going to give you any more money if you're going to give us the information. And the Andy Beshear administration has declined, as of this recording, to provide the requested data to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. No data, no money. So what that means is Kentucky families that do qualify, they are citizens in need, aren't going to be receiving their SNAP benefits because Andy Beshear is unwilling to give the list of all the illegals who are also getting those benefits. Rather Scroogey. Bah, humbug. Under Secretary Rollins, they ran the numbers, and according to the number of illegals estimated in the United States today receiving these benefits, if they were only going to U.S. citizens who are entitled to them and nobody else, it would save the United States $24 million per day. That is nearly $9 billion a year by simply saying we're going to use this money to help Americans in need and not give it to people who are here illegally. Andy Beshear has put himself in rather a tight spot because one reason he wants to keep all the money flowing to the illegals, but in another way, if he does that, the money's not going to be flowing to anybody, including those Kentuckians in need who are actually entitled to it. Let's look at the second thing that has to do with your money and Andy Beshear and who he's not giving it to. And how do I mean this? Well, this time it has to do with the Kentucky State Legislature. Every 2 years, the Kentucky legislature makes the budget for the state. This is how they're going to spend your money. The Legislative Budget Committee just requested financial reports from the Beshear administration to help them decide where they should spend the money. However, the Andy Beshear administration has refused to turn over those financial reports to the legislative branch of Kentucky's government. Now, the Beshear administration went on to say these reports are for the governor, not the budget committee. A little reminder to everybody, the governor does not set the budget. You know who does? The legislative branch sets the budget. They're the ones who really should be receiving these financial reports. But again, Andy Beshear won't give those to anybody. Bah, humbug. Why wouldn't he give these financial reports to the legislative branch that makes the budget? I'll tell you exactly the reason why. It's because those reports are going to show, hey, there's a lot of waste being used in programs such as the SNAP program, where we're giving millions of dollars to illegals here that shouldn't be getting it, and that should be cut. And revealing those kinds of things publicly could really hurt Governor Beshear as he's trying to run for president on his socialist agenda of the government giving free things to everybody everywhere. And him trying to push woke programs and DEI programs and all this kind of stuff. So that's the reason he won't turn over these financial reports to the state legislature for them to help make a more responsible budget. So just when you thought it couldn't get worse,
but wait, there's more!
That's right, old Andy Pandy is messing with the money a third way. Bet you're feeling like this right now. Here we go with story number 3 about messing with the money. It has just been revealed that a dark money group led by Beshear's top political strategist has reported to the IRS that last year they raised $1,378,250 in the last fiscal year, and they refused to say where the money came from. That is correct. According to official IRS filing that they have made, that has just become public, this dark money group by Beshear's top political strategist that got him into office in his last 2 campaigns, they had to list 51 itemized contributions. On every single one of those, when it comes to the part that says, where did this money come from, they put that information is NA, not available. So yes, 51 times they said, we got this amount of money from people. It's well more than $1 million, but we're not going to tell you where the money actually came from. Maybe this is one of the reasons why Lexington Herald leader reporter John Chevis said, Andy Beshear's administration is the least transparent of any I've covered in 25 years of covering state government in Kentucky. So yes, it turns out Andy Pandy is being rather Scroogey with your money this Christmas season. He won't turn over the list of the illegals that he's giving SNAP money to, and that's going to hurt Kentucky families in need who actually deserve it. He won't turn over the financial records to the legislative branch to make a more responsible budget, and he won't tell the IRS where all this money is coming from. These are the kinds of things you're not going to hear on the mainstream media. That's why I hope you'll like and subscribe to the channel. We have added more than 1,000 subscribers in less than 3 weeks, and I really appreciate that. If you've never hit subscribe, make sure you do that. And if you would like to contribute to the channel and say, hey, I want to support this type of reporting and help Patriot Point stay on the air, here's a little link. You hit that button and you can give a little something to help support the channel, and I appreciate that. Before we sign off, I want to give a little shout out to those kind people I met over at the grocery store this week. It's always encouraging when somebody who watches the program comes over and says hi. That's a real blessing to me. So if you see me out somewhere across the state and you watch Patriot Point, come on over, say hi, and we'll have a chance to fellowship for a little while, and I'll appreciate that. Well, that's the news for this week, Patriots. So until next week, I'm Lee Watts for Patriot Point, reminding you that liberty is not a spectator sport.
Bah, humbug.